All right, day 40 now. Yes, believe it or not, finally I went out and finally used the newcomer. So now, after some time of you guys waiting, you guys finally get to see the behind the scenes footage of me taking the photo that I'm about to edit. And for those that see it, that probably know the style, it is the Insta360 X4, brand new 360 degree action camera, I guess from Insta. I was debating if on purchasing this or not, but if we look at the behind the scenes footage, I mean, on another level, something that nowhere near comes in the realm of my DJI Osmo action camera. Granted, for single shooting, I still didn't test that, but this immersed 360 footage, especially for behind the scenes, it is by far something that I've never seen before, and I'm truly excited as far as what I can accomplish with this little camera, right? So again, we're focusing, or we went out as far as interesting photos, not really, because it was mostly landscape, and this was kind of during a rainy slash wet condition slash weather, right? So in all fairness, if we found anything interesting to capture, not really, but I decided on choosing just this sort of location, and I took my time trying to arrange the set and seeing what I can do. And after some time, right, I ended up with this photo. Again, not too much to really work with here. It's mostly going to be consistent of just color correcting, maybe. I'm debating if we're gonna do any masking techniques, because I don't know, personally speaking, I don't think this one is gonna need a whole lot of masking. Quite frankly, I don't even think there is much masking to do here, because I did check beforehand, and really the subject that Lightroom detected was, I guess, the portion of this log here, which that's not primarily the main focus of the photo. The whole focus of this photo is primarily just landscape, right? Nothing was supposed to be the subject for this photo. It's just, I kind of like the setting of it, because we got a little bit of a foreground here with the leaves, and then some sort of background for the scene back with trees, leaves, whatever the case may be. So again, probably not too much to do, or that we're gonna do with this photo, or we're gonna accomplish with this photo, because that was kind of the primary that was the main goal for this photo, just simple landscape. But in all fairness, I really just wanted to test out that the new Insta360 X4, because the footage that you guys have seen, that's, give it or not, the first videos I've taken on the X4. I'm still trying to learn its style, if that makes sense. I'm still trying to learn its way of capturing videos. I'm still trying to learn that, but overall, I really enjoy just the 40 to an hour long time that I spent out there with my dog, obviously, because he tends to follow me, to no surprise. But I really enjoyed it. Definitely expect more from this camera, because believe it or not, yeah, my DJI action camera, that just stayed in my backpack that whole entire duration of trying to find a nice image to capture. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna replace it, but I tell you, it is interesting, to say the least. It is interesting, and to be honest, I can't say any promises as far as if it's gonna get replaced or not. But again, the DJI has its own. I'm sure it has its own. Would you call it its own pros than the Insta 360 camera? But just with right now, just behind the scenes footage, it's I can't complain. So I was really happy with that. Again, I was planning on doing it today on another location, but that just didn't seem to happen as far as with just today. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now with this one, with this photo, again, like I stated, it's gonna be primarily landscape. We're probably not gonna do some masking on this photo because there's primarily nothing to mask. So we're probably just gonna focus on this panel, not really lean towards masking, whatever the case may be. And I keep on forgetting, I need to crop this photo to our standard, to our standard 4x5 or 8x10, right? Now, although I said it's not primarily the focus, I am just gonna, however, just put the, what you call it, the log sticking out of the water kind of in the center, because that kind of gives it, I don't know, for me, it just seems more aesthetic wise. So, but I'm seeing something wrong here, maybe. Okay, no, it might just be me, no, so. Well, then it's just me. So we'll just leave it like that. Primarily, I think I like that so far. So what's the goal with this photo? In all fairness, I don't know, because I was gonna talk about this. It's just that I guess I've kept on forgetting about it. If we see over here, because I primarily don't focus on the left side here, but if we do see presets, I have gone out and I have actually, I guess, purchased some presets. There's a lot more presets than just these that I have here. Now, if you're gonna say if I'm gonna use them or utilize them now, not in this photo, right? Not at least in this photo, but it gives me some sort of, I wouldn't say inspiration, but kind of, yeah, you could say inspiration as far as, you know, how can I edit the photos. Now, granted, I'll obviously let you guys know if I'm using a preset or not, but as far as with right now, not for this photo, not for this photo, but we'll see what happens down the road, because, you know, presets may be something good. I mean, personally speaking, it kind of does take away the creativity or the experimenting portion of Lightroom, I guess, in a way. So if you look at it from that angle, I guess that is unfortunate. But for some, I know it kind of speeds up their workflow. Again, we'll see what happens. Now, currently, what I'm just seeing is I need to more focus on these tone curves, on especially the red, blue, and green, because I primarily focus on this one, on the, I guess, on the white, or really the general, as far as with exposures with the whites. But I need to start focusing more on these, on the other three, which is the red, the green, and the blue, because I'm sure with a few movements or adjustments we do, I'm sure it can come out looking pretty good. But I just keep on, I'm just not doing that really. So I definitely need to pay more attention to that. Now, as far as what the goal is with this photo, I don't know, believe it or not. It's just me really, in a way, moving around, or really making adjustments, seeing which ones I like or not. And that's when I'll really decide as far as, you know, what's the goal with this. But maybe, as far as with right now, just really, I guess, in a way, having some fun testing out to see what we can come up with this photo. Not that there's, you know, we need to go crazy, because in all fairness, it's again, landscape, not many changes to begin with, but we'll see what changes we can do as we move along, right? Now I am gonna, because I didn't want to, I kind of in a way didn't want it to spoil it, but in a way I guess I am now. But I've taken several photos that for the next couple of days it should be good for me editing with these videos, right? However, there was one I did take, and it involves of using the Insta360 X4. It's a 360 photo. Again, I don't want to spoil it, although I kind of did, but soon I'm probably gonna be editing that. It's gonna be very interesting to say the least as far as how that's gonna go, but it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Now, I've done a couple of changes, really in a way kind of different from one another. S curve is kind of not our typical S curve. Reds, blue, green, they kind of have their own thing, but I think overall, I think I actually really liked how this photo came out. Kind of gives it that aesthetic vibe in a way, maybe. Again, I'm just really experimenting here. I'm just trying to see what happens. So yeah, like as I was saying, I don't want to spoil too much, but that is definitely going to be one photo that's going to be very interesting to see how in the hell I'm even gonna attempt to even edit that. Can my laptop even support it, or does Lightroom even support those type of photos? To be honest, I don't know, but it's just interesting to see, and we'll see what will happen. But as far as with right now, I'm just really primarily focusing on the green in the image right now. I know it may be a little bit too harsh on the greens, which I'm trying to have a nice control of. I'm not trying to saturate a lot of the greens. Just a nice balance of all colors in a way. So that's primarily it. I mean, granted, back in my backyard, there's really not much to capture, but again, if I put myself or at least try to put myself in the mindset, because I know today I was having some issues with that as far as trying to find interesting, simple, but yet creative pictures or scenes, as I'm gonna call them. I still need a lot of work on that, but I think I'm doing a little bit better. Again, I would definitely need a lot of work, but I think I'm doing slightly better, so that should be good. Now with color grading, I know normally back then we would go on global, and just more looking at it, we may just see what global brings us. But as I'm moving around and as I'm adjusting the picture, I am seeing that this is kind of leaning just slightly towards the warmer side. So maybe if we have a nice balance between maybe green and the warm, I think that should be a nice balance. It kind of adds, it's kind of assembling in some way, shape, or form, or it's kind of looking like if it's a film footage. Not gonna say so much of a vintage look, but in a way, maybe so. So that's what we're doing right now, and I'm getting a little bit distracted because my cat's behind the camera and she's trying to get a squirrel. That's actually kind of funny. But little does she know that there's the door closed, so there's no way that's gonna happen. But anyways, so with global, I think I actually liked how that made the photo a little bit more like film style photo, if that makes sense. So we'll leave it like that. Now with shadows, since there's not too many shadows to begin with, it's primarily going to be focusing on the majority. I think how we don't need any adjustments for shadows. Midtones, I'm kind of in that right now, and personally I like how kind of just a teensy bit saturates a little bit more of the greens, so we'll leave it like that. And with highlights, I don't see much change. It would be primarily focusing on the green yet again over here, so just very minor. I mean, yeah, in all fairness, you really kind of can't see any difference, but just for the sake of it, we'll put it a little bit towards the warmer side, although it's very questionable to see if there's really any changes, but we'll leave it like that. I think I like it. Well, I personally like it like that, so we'll leave it. Now with details, since again, I took my time with this and I had my tripod, as you guys saw in the behind the scenes footage. There's there's not too much to criticize as far as detail. But maybe, okay, just for the sake of it, maybe just to increase slightly in sharpening and then maybe detail. That's all. And I don't want to add in digital detail because that way here is just gonna create more noise. It's gonna make the photo a little bit, so denoise, no need to. I took my time trying to take the photo. I think I did a pretty good job. So with detail, that ends it. Transform, I mean, I've never had so much, I've never really looked at this section for transform because in all fairness for me, again, on the camera, I like to level the image before taking the photo. And then in post-production, I just really just crop the photo, and mostly just for Instagram standards, right? So with transform, I really wouldn't need it. Lens blur, to be honest, I've never tried it, and quite frankly, as it stands right now, I'm not gonna. So we'll just leave that be. To kind of suit this little photo that I'm, this little effect that I'm adding into as far as with making it a little bit vintage style, vintage slash film look, I'm gonna add a vignette effect. And just very minorly, just not too many changes. And to be honest, that's really it. Nothing more, nothing less. And with calibration, just very minor adjustments here. Again, I still would need to look as far as what calibration really does to a photo. And I just look at it, I just take calibration like this. Whatever, if it makes the photo a little bit better, then what the hell, just add it in, right? But I'm just trying to add just a little effects to it, and I think personally, I think that turned out a little bit good. Now, if we do it before, okay, and okay, like I stated, I can definitely see where leaning more towards that. Instead of vintage look, I'm more looking at it as a film look from a film camera. So I'm kind of looking at it like that. Although maybe the greens may be a little bit too oversaturated. So if we were to just slightly decrease it, I think that would look a little bit better. Okay, I think that suits the photo a little bit better. So we've utilized every single option except for transform and lens blur in this first column. Again, would I need to add in another column? Or I'm sorry. Is there a need for me to add in masks to this photo? I guess one I guess thing that came up to my mind is maybe adding in a mask for the water to kind of make it, I don't know, to add in more reflection to it. Not entirely sure, but in all fairness, I actually liked how that is. So okay, you know what? I'll just think about it. Again, I'll sit here for the next couple minutes, and analyze to see if there's anything else I can do. But if not, I mean, personally speaking, I already liked how it looks, so I don't think there's really any more changes to begin to do or to add on to this. But I'll sit here and see if there's anything else I can add to it, but we'll see. Okay, so I looked at it. I was kind of going back and forth as far as what my idea was, that as far as adding in a little mask layer for the water to kind of add in more reflection. But as I was looking at it, I don't think it personally needs it. I did go back and I just slightly adjusted the tone curves, kind of decreasing a little bit more of the blacks for the red, and just kind of making very minor adjustments across all tone curves. And I think now there's a nice balance of all. There's not one, over the other. So I think that is good, although if the histogram says otherwise. But personally speaking, I really liked how this photo came out, and that is gonna be it. Again, not too much change to begin with this photo, because my plan was to take a landscape photo. The only issue was I needed to I needed to put myself in yet again that mindset that I keep on saying, as far as making or taking photos that seem simple but yet can be creative in a way. You look at the raw photo, it's there, right? I personally thought it was good, but then added in a little bit more touch to it, and I think it suited the scene a little bit better. But really, the whole highlight of this video was, again, more of the Insta360. I mean, I can't stop talking about this camera because I really enjoyed it. Although editing in its software may be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna soon find out how that's gonna go. But overall, from this little experience, as far as with the newcomer for the gear, kind of, I wouldn't say unique photo, but definitely something interesting, maybe. Mostly concerning the fact that I took inspiration from the presets that I've downloaded, although I haven't used any. It kind of gave me inspiration as far as what should I do with this photo, so can't really complain with that. But other than that, that's all I've got to say for day 40. Again, I'm sorry if this wasn't the type of video you guys were expecting. I was planning on making day 40 about the location I'm gonna head to, but that didn't happen because of things. But it is what it is. Hopefully tomorrow, although I'm not gonna really jinx it, I should hopefully be going off to another location to get more pictures, you know, for future videos, which meaning more footage from the X4 and hopefully better videos for you guys, right? But I don't want to jinx myself in case if that doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, it is what it is, and I can't complain. Other than that, that's all I've got to say now for day 40, and I'll be seeing you guys hopefully tomorrow, day 41. Now, if this guy right here, this guy can stop being in the way from where I gotta walk, I'll be seeing you guys hopefully tomorrow on day 41.